Hello Gaudi and welcome to today's maths lesson. We're going to start as always with our arithmetic. I'm hoping by now that you know whether you're doing challenge 1 or challenge 2. You also don't need to write out the question, just the answer. Pause the video, answer your 4 questions or more if you're doing the challenge, the extension, and then come back and we'll go through the answers. So let's start with the challenge 1. So if you haven't done challenge 1, then you need to just forward through this video until you get to challenge 2. And the same, if you've done challenge 1, then you don't need to sit and listen to me go through the answers to challenge 2. You can forward to the beginning of today's lesson. So let's start with challenge 1. 2 add 6. So we've got 2 and 6 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that gives me a total of 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, add 0. So I've got 5 and I'm not adding anything else to it, so I have still got my 5. And then 9, take away 6. So there's my 9 and I'm going to take away 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm left with 1, 2, 3. The extension, I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to start with 17. So if I start with 17, and I add nothing, and I've still got 17. So you could get yourself some objects to help you with this one. So you could have had some pencils or some pieces of pasta, something. If you count out 17 and just have them all in one big pile. And then what we're going to do is we're going to move one across. So I'm going to move one away from that 17, which is going to give me 16. And then that one is going to be in a pile all by itself. So I've got 17. And now I'm going to move another one from my pile of 17. So I've moved one already, so now I'm moving 2. So now I had 16 in that pile. So if I move another one, I will have 15 in that pile. And I'll have 2 in the other pile. And that's also going to be 17. And I can keep going. So if you start with 17 and you just take some and you move them across, you can count how many you've got in your first pile, how many you've got in your second pile, and you'll still have 17 as long as you've counted them carefully to start with. So there are 18 answers to today's question. Right, let's get rid of our shutter so we can use our tens and ones grid. 19p add 11. So I'm going to do 19 add 11. And I'm going to do my ones first. So 9 add 1, and that gives me 10. So I'm going to write it underneath. So I can see that the 0 needs to be here, and the 1 I'm going to put up in this column here. Now I'm going to count my 10s. 1, 2, 3. That's a nice easy one today. So 19p add 11p is 30p. There are other ways to do this. You could have done it in your head. You can do it on your fingers. But I'm just using the tens and ones grid because it helps me. Okay. Next one, 18p plus 23p. So 18p plus 23p. If I wanted to, I could have done that the other way around and I could do 23p at the top and 18p at the bottom. Because it's addition, it's commutative. It doesn't matter which way around I do it. So 8 add 3, 8 in my head, 9, 10, 11. I'm going to put that at the bottom. So I can see that my 1 goes in that column and that 1 goes in that column. That's easy because they're both 1s. Now I'm going to add up this column. 2, 3, 4. So 18p add 23p is 41p. I have to look at my keyboard to make sure I'm pressing the right buttons to change it from the rubber to the pen. 27p, and this time we're doing takeaway. 27p take away 12p, so I can't do that whichever way I like. I have got to put the bigger number at the top. 27p take away 12p. And I'm going to start with my ones. So 7 take away 2, so 7, 6, 5. And 2 take away 1, which is going to leave me with 1. So that's going to be 15p. Now, I'm going to do exactly what I did for challenge 1. So I'm going to start with my £73 on this side, and I'm going to add 0 to that on this side. And then what I could do is I could take 1 away from this. So I've got 72 on this side and 1 on this side. And that will still give me £73. And I could keep doing that, and I could find 74 different answers doing that, but that would take me quite a long time. So what I think I'm going to do is, I think this time round, I'm going to take away 10. So I'm going to take away 10 from 72. So we've looked at how we do that, counting up and back, forwards in tens. So 72, would the 10 less than that would be 62. And then I'm going to have to add that 10 to the other one. So 1 add 10 is 11. And that will still be £73. And then what I think I might do from that one is I might take 1 away again. So 1 less than 62 is 61. And then I've got to add the 1 to the other side. And I can keep playing with my numbers so I can find lots and lots of different answers. But actually, I haven't worked anything out. All I've done is taken away 1 and added 1, take away 10 and added 10, take away 1, added 1. I could take away 10 again. I could take away 20. You can do any sort of numbers you like and experiment with finding different answers. You can always use a calculator to check if you've got them right. You don't have to ask an adult to help you. Now, today we're going to be playing shops, and we're going to be looking at giving change back to the customer. So giving change is a way of saying subtraction, take away, when we're using money. So we're going to find the change. Alex has got 50p, and he wants to buy this truck that costs him 20p. So the truck costs 20p, and he's got 50p. So he hasn't got a 20p piece, he's got a 50p piece. He's going to give the shopkeeper his 50p, and the shopkeeper has got to work out how much change he needs. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the 100 square, and we're just going to count backwards. So from 50 to 40 to 30, and then to 20. So from 50 to 40, we've got 10 there, and from 40 to 30, we've got 10 there. And from 30 to 20, we've got 10 there again, because we know that when we use our 100 square, the number above or below is adding or subtracting 10. So we've taken away 10, 20, 30. So we know that Alex has got to get 30p change. Okay, I will do the next one with you. So the crayons cost 7p, and Jane has got a 20p piece. So let's find those two numbers on our 100 square. Not really 100 square, it doesn't go all the way to 100, it only goes to 60, but it's past 100 square. So the crayons cost 7p, and Jane has got 20p. So we're going to count back from 20 to 7. So first of all, we're going to count back to 10. So we know that that's 10. And then we're going to go back from there, we're going to count along to the 7. That's 1, 2, 3. That's 1, 2, 3. So we have counted back 10, 11, 12, 13p. There are other ways to do this. You might just know that 20 take away 7 is 13. You might be able to count forward. I'm going to show you this method. You don't have to use this method if you don't want to, as long as you still get the right answers. If you're not getting the right answers, then please follow my method, because then we can check where you're going wrong. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to pause the video and see if you can work this one out for yourself. So Alex has got 10p, he's got a 10 pence piece, and he wants to buy the candles that cost 5p. So start by circling the two amounts. So the candles cost 5p, and Alex has got 10p. And count backwards from 10 to 5 to see if you can find the change. Let's do that together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he gets 5p change. And again, you might just have known that. You might know that 5 add 5 is 10, or that 10 take away 5 is 5. I'm just showing you so we can check our method. Next one. So the cake is 41 pence, and Jane has a 50 pence piece. Let's see if you can work out Jane's change. So the cake, oops, Jane has 50p and the cake is 41p. We're going to count back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So she gets 9p change. Okay. Alex has £1 and the cap is 78p. I don't know what to do. I haven't got a pound on my 100 square. What do we need to remember? We need to remember that £1 is the same as 100 pence. So this £1 here is going to be our 100 pence. So we're going to do 100 take away 78. So again, see if you can work that out and then come back and join me for the answer. So Alex has 100 pence and the cap is 78 pence. So let's count back. So we're going to count back 10 and another 10. And I'm just going to mark that 10 and another 10. And then we're going to go 1, 2. So I've counted 10. Oops, this doesn't look like a 10, sorry. 10, 20, 1, 2. So 22p change. Okay, so today's challenge 1 is you've got the item you're buying and the amount you're paying for it. So these ones are 10p. You might actually find that you would like to use a ruler more than you would like to use 100 square, because I know that you will have rulers because we sent those home in the emergency packs before half term. I don't think you have 100 squares. So if you use a ruler, you can do just the same way. So if you've got, the crayons cost 5p and you've got 10p. So there's your 5. Oh, dearie me, can I not write on the ruler? Do that around. And there's my 10. And I'm just going to count back. So I've got 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bumps there. So I've given you the answer. You only need to write down the answer. You don't need to write the question. You don't need to draw coins. You don't need to draw packets of crayons, just the answer. So you just can write question 1, 5p. Question 2, and I'm not telling you the answer for that one. So that's challenge 1. If you found that tricky, then stop there. Maybe you think that was too simple for you and you're going to start from challenge 2. You should know by now what challenges you need to do or where you feel like you should start. So challenge 2, you've got 2 questions. You've got a game that costs 11p. I think my son wishes he could buy a PlayStation for 11p. And you've got a 20p piece. And you've got some flowers for 22p. And you've got this much money. And I'm not telling you how much because you've got to work it out. So how much change would you need? Challenge 3, exactly the same. You've got 50p and you're buying a train for 32p. Or the robot costs 26p and you've got £1. Remember that £1 is the same as 100p. Okay, that's the tricky bit. And then there's a super challenge, question 7. If you bought both the orange and the cassette, that's a very old-fashioned picture. If you bought the orange and the cassette together and you paid with £1, how much change would you get? So if you bought both of those and had £1, how much change would you get? And our reasoning question for today is, here is our robot again, and the robot costs 26 pence. What's the smallest value coin you could use to pay for that? So what is the smallest coin that you could give to pay for the robot? You couldn't give a 10 pence piece because the 10 pence isn't enough money. So you need to pay 26 pence and you're only allowed to use 1 coin to pay for it, but it's got to be the smallest coin. So you could use a £2 coin, but there is a smaller answer. So the smallest answer, what 1 coin could you use? And if you use that coin, how much change would you get? And again, please, please, please don't spend your time writing out the question. That's not important, just the answer. And I will see you for the next lesson.